The Dorky Diva Show presents
Why is this seat so much more comfortable?
the long-awaited sequel to the adventures of the Zolan Dart audio drama.
Have you seen the captain's datapad?
Trying to work, Murph.
Piloting the Zolan Dart by himself,
You do understand the details of this particular job, correct?
I've been on plenty of jobs like this. With you!
Reldar Sias returns to a planet he thought he'd left behind for good.
Is there a reason you didn't mention I was tagging along?
Hopefully having you there will make others think twice about messing with me.
Making new friends
Oh, you must be the pilot of the Zolan Dart, yes?
I guess I am.
and reconnecting with old ones,
Reldar?
Vera?
What are you doing here?
until past grudges resurface.
I'd be minding my own business if I were you.
Well, if your business wasn't being handled right in front of my face, maybe I could mind my own business. We have to leave now.
Why the rush all of a sudden?
We're in trouble.
If it isn't little Reldar Sias.
Hey, Yorick. Long time no see.
Roz already knows you're here.
Oh,
Look who decided to come home.
Reldar must confront his origin,
I must admit, I never saw this as being a part of your past, Softshell.
or let it define his future.
I will get what is owed to me, no matter the cost.
because what Roz is trying to do is wrong.
Says you.
My blasters, we're going to need these. Take that, Sleemo.
Who do you think you are?
The Adventures of the Zolan Dart, Episode 2, coming soon.
Welcome to Star Wars, best place for below average Star Wars.
Hello there, and welcome to the Star Wars Show.
The best place for below average Star Wars.
I am the Geordie Jedi Pete,
And I'm Brian.
and this is your Star Wars / interesting podcast. Great collab.
There we go.
Brian, how are you doing, my friend?
I'm good. I'm excited to be here. It's been a long time coming. Sorry to keep pushing you around, pal. It's things are nuts on this side of the call, but it's good. It's good. I'm excited.
I can imagine. I think last time I had you on the show was when we discussed. It's probably when we did the special deep dive into how the audio drama, The Adventures of the Zolan Dart, was created. I think was the last time we spoke on the podcast.
Oh, was it? Wow, that was. Oh boy, my God, that feels like a lifetime ago.
So
Yeah.
But no, I'm glad to have you on. Obviously, Star Wars Celebration is days away. It's like 2 weeks away. I think, week and a half away.
Oh, it is. It's so close.
Let's just start off talking about Star Wars Celebration. What's the things you're most looking forward to doing during the celebration weekend?
Oh man. Okay, so celebration for me, my favorite things have always been the panels. I just love those types of things because those panels are, Star Wars specific. They usually have guests there that don't really do other shows sometimes. And the topics of the panels are usually something that I'm super interested in, especially if it's like creature oriented. So the panels are probably my top thing, very closely followed by just being able to see, people like you. And even though we hang out a lot more now, to hang out with Savannah, and I feel like I'm on this like personal redemptive celebration adventure because I wasn't able to go to Anaheim. And we hung out in Chicago, which was great. Had a really good time. And so I had so much fun in Chicago. And then we made a bunch of friends there, Savannah and I. But then I was like the only person in the kind of zeitgeist that wasn't able to go to Anaheim. So I got to see everybody else at Anaheim from pictures, and I was like, oh man, the FOMO's real. And I was like, I wish I could go. So then now that everyone that was in Anaheim almost is going to London, it's like I get to reconvene and be like, I'm actually at this one. So the reunion aspect of it is something I'm very, very excited about.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited to grab a couple of beers with yourself, Brian. It'll be
yeah, it's gonna be great.
Speaking of panels, is there any panels that you've highlighted that you definitely want to go to?
Oh, for sure. The looking back on Kenobi is pretty high up there. The Creature Cantina might be number one, just because I'm just such a massive fan of Neil and his team, and I just think they do beautiful work. And a lot of the creature performers and puppeteers have become really close friends over the years, so I'm excited to hang out with them and see what they're doing. The look back on Kenobi, obviously, that is my jam. I'm excited for the Ahsoka panel. I want to see something with Ahsoka. Like, really, really excited about that. And I think those are going to be the top ones for me. Doug Chang is doing a panel on Monday about like behind the scenes art and design for Kenobi, and I think Mando as well. So I'm excited about that. I'm gonna be honest with you, Peter. I'm a little bummed because on Sunday, Sky Talkers is doing a panel. Charlotte and Caitlin, they're the queens of Star Wars podcasting. They're just incredible. Followed by Brandon Wynerdy for Talking Bay 94. Both incredible Star Wars podcasts. They are from like 1 to 2 and 2 to 3. But the Kenobi panel is from 1:30 to 2:30. So it perfectly overlaps both of them. So I've had to like, in the last Dorky Diva show, I was like, hey, formal apology, guys. You all got to go to the Obi-Wan panel in Anaheim. I missed it. Obi-Wan's my jam. I'm sorry. I'm going to miss your panels. I'll be at the next ones, I promise. So having to choose those was like, oh, I want to be there for my friends, but also they're going to understand, right? We'll be all right. We'll be all right.
I mean, obviously, Charlotte and Kate and Brandon have all been on this podcast. Obviously, fantastic conversation.
Incredible.
And I know for a fact that they'll have full houses, regardless of whether you're there or not.
Yeah.
Which is always good.
You're right. You're right.
But I think the good news is, say you can't get into that panel for whatever reason, you've got a perfect backup.
Exactly. Sorry. It glitched for a second. Do I have a backup if I can't get into Obi-Wan?
Yeah.
If I can't get into Obi-Wan, I'm gonna go to Sky Talkers or Talking Bay 94. I got a feeling I can fight my way into those. Yeah, but the Obi-Wan, I don't know, because the Obi-Wan one didn't have like a reservation lottery thing. It's just there. So I imagine, but that's the other thing is while I'm thinking about it, Savannah has talked about how the European celebrations are different. You've been to it before. Like, did you find that the 2015? Is that when it was? 2016. 2016. Did you find that one, compared to Chicago, the crowds were different?
Yeah, so Celebration London in 2016 was my first celebration.
Oh, amazing.
And then, obviously, I came to Orlando afterwards and then Chicago afterwards. So, and then I feel that one in London, a lot of people there sort of didn't know what Celebration was in its entirety. So, I feel it was like, not that it was quieter because there's still 20,000 people there a day. But I think
sure.
But I think that like that hustle and everybody running around trying to get everywhere wasn't there.
Okay, that makes me feel a little better about getting into places.
But I think since then, with YouTube and podcasts and people in the UK and Europe listening and seeing how crazy the American ones are now and a bit more awareness, I think it's not going to be as relaxed as Celebration London was in 2016.
Okay, that's fair.
But I don't think it'll be as crazy as Chicago or Orlando. It'll be in the middle.
Sure.
If that makes sense.
Okay. That makes me feel a little better about trying to get into it.
Definitely. Is there any must-want merch you're after when you come to Celebration?
I haven't seen any of it. because they haven't released anything from the Celebration store.
Only pin badges. That's it. That's all they've advertised. So far.
Yeah, only pins. And like, dude, I have way less money this time. As I'm sure you know, when you come here, it costs so much to get here and to stay here and to have all of that when it comes time for the convention, you're like, my God, how much money do I have left? And I'm kind of feeling that this time around, because last time I think it was Orlando, I went ham on the pins. I got almost all of it. They had the Ahsoka pin that you could only get if you spent like $120 on pins, and I got it. I'm not proud to say that, Peter, but I did. And this time around, the pins honestly look kind of the same as they did when I was in Orlando. And so there hasn't been something that I'm like, really, oh, I need this. Obviously, if there's a Qui-Gon pin, I'm fist fighting for it. But yeah, it's kind of weird that they haven't shown anything from the Celebration store at all. And Celebration is next week. And you also had to reserve like a lightning lane to even go to the Celebration store. And they're already sold out. So like the tickets to get into the store are sold out, but we don't even know what's in the store. So I don't have anything that I've seen so far that I absolutely need, other than I think I really, really want Silas Carson's autograph, because he was Ki-Adi-Mundi in the prequels, and he was just incredible. And I just think Brandon did an episode with him on Talking Bay 94, and it was one of the best podcasts interviews I've ever heard. It's so good. I talk about it every chance I get. And so I think I want to meet him and get his autograph. That's pretty high up as far as what to purchase far.
Was he also one of the viceroys of the Trade Federation?
He was quite a few things. And I just think he's great. And he seems like such a nice man. So I'd like to meet him, get his autograph on my poster.
Yeah, tell everyone about your poster, because I love this idea.
Yeah, so I don't remember how long ago it was, because I'm terrible with time. But a bunch of years ago, I had a friend of mine make this poster for me. It was like in Photoshop or whatever. And it's the Star Wars logo, just the word Star Wars, outlined in yellow, on a black starfield. And I started collecting autographs on it. And I have, I think, close to 30 now. I'm pretty sure. And so it's like the centerpiece on my wall in my room. And it's just something I like. And I got a lot of people to sign it. And now it's extra cool because like I have Dave Prowse, I have Carrie Fisher, I have Peter Mayhew, I have all of these people that have since become one with the Force. I've met them and they signed my poster, so it's really cool to kind of have that memento, when I look at it and I'm like, yeah, this is neat. Like Ahmed Best signed it. It's just cool. So I'm gonna bring my poster, see what happens. I'm gonna have some of my puppeteer buddies sign it for sure. Yeah, I feel like Silas Carson is somebody that needs to go on there.
Definitely. I think he does do UK cons, which I'm going to start doing more of, I think, once we get up past Celebration. So
cool.
If you don't get him, let us know, because I can maybe try and get him myself at some of the conventions.
Yeah, there we go. Teamwork. I like it.
But I think the Celebration store point you were making, like, I haven't received my passes yet. So.
Oh, really?
So I've spoken to them and they're on the way soon apparently. But yeah, so like 2 weeks away from the convention and like my passes haven't arrived yet. I haven't really seen them
I got mine
yet. The pin badges don't look awesome. There's one or two that look good, but other than that, like there's nothing really special about them. So I feel maybe they've just been asleep a little bit this time around.
Yeah, maybe. Or maybe because you got stuff. Did you get stuff with it?
Just a lanyard, that's it.
Okay, I didn't get a lanyard, so maybe that's why. Did you get a 4-day pass, or did you have to buy individual days?
4-day pass.
Ah, nice. They sold out in like 35 minutes, and I didn't get it. I had to get individual day passes.
Yeah.
Yours is cooler, though. You got Mando and Grogu. I mean, that's a really cool badge.
What's on the day passes?
You got Han, Leia, Cassian, and then R2 and 3PO. Which is pretty good. I was hoping for Obi-Wan, but I'm cool with these 4. But Mando and Grogu, I mean, that is tops,
Speaking of your poster, what's your favorite signature on your poster?
Ooh, Peter, come on, man.
You can pick a top 3.
Top 3. Okay. I will say there's one signature on there that I wasn't present for, and it was at Celebration Anaheim. I had my friend Jared. I bought it, and then I gave him my poster to go get it. He got Ewan McGregor's for me. So that's pretty high up there just because it's Ewan McGregor.
That's pretty awesome.
Right? But it's the only one out of all of them that I didn't meet the person as they were signing it. So Ewan McGregor, just for the sentimental purposes and how much I love it. Gotta be Carrie Fisher. Gotta be. Let me think. For the third one.
So take you haven't got Liam Neeson yet.
No, dude. If I had met Liam Neeson, I wouldn't be here right now. Okay. I'm gonna Carrie Fisher, because I almost knocked over her drink, and the obvious reasons that she's not here anymore. Probably Ahmed, honestly. So Ewan McGregor, Carrie Fisher, and Ahmed. I got Hayden Christensen, and I really enjoyed him as well. If you'll allow me 4.
I'll let you have 4 because you're a good man.
Okay. Those 4. Those are it. Ahmed, personal reasons, because I just love him. Ewan McGregor, because he's Ewan McGregor. Carrie Fisher, because of Carrie Fisher. And yeah. Those are it.
Let's talk about Ahmed for a second. So, obviously,
Let's do it.
Mandalorian season 3 is in full swing. What's been your thoughts on Mandalorian season 3 so far? And then, obviously, what were your thoughts on the big reveal of Grogu's savior?
Oh man. First off, I love it. I think the season's very good. I'm very excited for what they're doing. I'm very excited for whatever they have in store. Ahmed, I mean, you don't have enough time to talk about my love for that man. I adore him. He has been a hero of mine since I was like 9 years old. I love Jar Jar. I think he's incredible. I think he is an integral part of movies that we see today. If there was no Jar Jar, we wouldn't have had Gollum. We wouldn't have Avatar, because Ahmed was essential with ILM and John Knoll in creating what would become motion capture for movies. I just love Ahmed personally. I think he's a good dude. He's become a friend of mine, which is even cooler. And to see him really get to shine and like do what he does, and for the world to see him, I just love it. I'm so happy for him, and like that character is so personal to him. And like, not a lot of people know this, but like Keller and Beck, is a teacher of the younglings. It's what he does. Ahmed teaches at Stanford. Ahmed rides motorcycles. Ahmed has been doing martial arts for 40 years. You got to see all of that in Keller and Beck coming into The Mandalorian, which was so cool. And I just love as well, Ahmed's a good dude. He's stuck in, and he got to be one of, arguably, the most important characters in all of Star Wars, because everyone loves Grogu. You just can't not. I mean, look at him. And for 3 seasons, we've wondered, how did he get out of the temple? Who is the Jedi that saved him? And it was Keller and Beck. Like, the fact that Ahmed Best is the Jedi Master who saved Grogu for the rest of time, for all of history from now on, forever. Grogu was saved by Keller and Beck, played by Ahmed Best. And I just think it's amazing. And I am so inspired by all of that. It just feels good, man. Feels good.
What did you make of so the biggest thing I thought of was that, the siege in the temple is sort of already happening, it's in play. And then the Jedi seem to be very they've got a plan to get Grogu out of the temple in a way.
Right.
So do you think they see Grogu as like the savior of the Jedi, and that's why he needs to go because of his species?
Interesting.
No other youngling got special treatment like that.
I think it was more a timing thing. I don't know if like Grogu, for being Grogu, was special in that he was just the kid who was there at the elevator at the time. I don't know if there was something intrinsically more important about Grogu than anybody else. I could be wrong. I mean, we could find out that he's like another pseudo chosen one. But I think, the Jedi were just protecting the youngling that was there at the time. Because like that's what they do. They would have done it for anyone. It just happened to be Grogu.
Yeah. And then obviously another thing that came to my mind was the fact that, Kelleran's able to escape with Grogu. And,
Yeah.
there's a plan, there's a ship already, a certain type of ship, a Nubian. What were your thoughts on sort of that ship being ready, available, the Naboo guards being there, and then obviously, the fact that, there's some connective tissue here either, Padme has set that up, or maybe even Representative Binks.
Yeah, I don't know. Because the other thing is like, it's actively happening, right? So like Padme has no idea what's going on because she's watching the temple burn from, miles away, still confused as to what's going on. I think for her to be involved in the ship means there would have to be some foresight into what's going on. And I don't think she knows yet as far as the timeline goes. I think Jar Jar the same. I don't know. I mean, they're for sure setting something up, So I don't know what they're setting up. Because the other thing is like, clearly Kelleran Beck knew those Naboo guards, right? Like they were friends because they're immediately like, take the ship, get out of here. It's fueled and ready to go. I don't know if, maybe Kelleran was outside of the temple. Clones started attacking. He was clearly already fighting them because when the elevator door opened up, he had his lightsaber already ignited. And then he was like, it's going to be okay. We're going to get you out of here. But then also the Jedi beforehand were like, we need to get him to Kelleran. So I think there's so many things going on at once in this sequence that it would be hard to determine the depth at which things are moving. Because maybe Kelleran was like, hey, the temple's on fire, something really bad's happening, the clones are turning on us, I need to ship out of here. And then that captain was like, cool, we got one ready for you to go, just meet us here, we'll get you out. So there's for sure a relationship there between Kelleran and the Naboo guards. But yeah, I'm curious. I'm very curious as to the full picture of this, as well as where did he go? Because they made the jump to hyperspace. And I imagine he's not going to go to some place near Coruscant, where the action's happening. He'd want to go to probably a more secluded place just for safety reasons. So I don't know. I hope I'm ready for more. I'll tell you that much.
Oh, definitely. I can't wait for the next episode.
Same.
I think my thought process is sort of, if you think about the fall of the Jedi Temple, it probably takes place all night. It's probably a 10-hour raid.
Right.
So, you have sort of, Order 66 from the point of view of the Kenobi opening, where they call off guard there in the middle of a class.
Mm-hmm.
But I think when we see Grogu here with the Jedi protectors, as the door gets cut open, it's been going on for some time.
Ooh, good point.
And I think like they know they need to get him out in this sort of whether it's quite a hasty plan, I don't know, but there's some sort of plans being put together to try and get him out and off world, so that either A, he doesn't die, and B, like, are they worried about what could happen to him in the wrong hands, which obviously ultimately happens, I suppose.
Yeah. Or like, why was he the lone youngling at the time of the attack? Because now that I'm thinking about it, the opening to Kenobi, you have a classroom of children, but Grogu's by himself. There are other Jedi Masters training him and stuff like that, but there's no other younglings with him. So why was he by himself at the time of the attack? Interesting, Peter.
So hopefully we will find out in a future episode of The Mandalorian.
I hope so. More Kelleran Beck, please. I want a Kelleran Beck spinoff.
I loved his robes, sort of that gold scribe in the top of his robe.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
So cool. So Ahmed.
but yeah, I think we definitely will see more of him, which will be good.
I think so too.
Speaking of, obviously, Mandalorian, you're enjoying that at the minute. Have you been watching The Bad Batch?
I have. I'm all caught up. I actually just finished the most recent episode earlier today.
Obviously, I think the finale is next, so it's sort of coming
Is it
on
that fast?
think so. If not, we're very close to it.
Whoa.
What's been your thoughts so far on this season, and how are you hoping we end?
I'm still not sure how I feel about it overall. It just hasn't grabbed me, just personally, because clones, I like clones, but they're not really my thing. You know, I like aliens and creatures and Jedi. That's kind of like, if you have those things, I'm automatically entirely invested. And the season's been okay. I find that every few episodes has been really, really good, and then the rest I'm like, okay, like I see we're kind of building up. Okay, we're kind of building up here. The last few episodes have been really good, though. I like seeing Crosshair kind of like come to terms with his decision and starting to realize, oops, I might have picked the wrong side. So that's been really cool.
Do you think Crosshair will become the first Imperial Death Trooper?
Ooh. I don't know. I'm hoping that the boys come and save him. Just because I think that'd be cool, especially because he betrayed them, and for him to have like an actual redemption in the eyes of his brothers, and they go to like, you know, a top secret crazy Imperial facility to get him back to show that they love him still and he can come back. Like, I think that would be really cool. But in Mando, they showed the Mind Flayer. So like, what if they're doing something like that to Crosshair? Like early days, you know?
That's my worry, is that I think Crosshair's ready to come back to the Bad Batch. I think you're right, sort of redemption arc.
Yeah, I would like that.
But I think Imperial technology is going to maybe brainwash him, maybe make him slightly not himself anymore, sadly.
Sure. Okay, I'm into that.
But time will tell, I imagine. We've seen quite a lot of Coruscant recently in both the Bad Batch and in
yeah, you're right.
And also we're going to be seeing Coruscant in the new video game, Jedi Survivor.
Right.
What's your thoughts on Jedi Survivor? Are you excited for it?
Very excited for it. I really enjoyed the first one, and so I'm excited for the second one to see what they do and where we're at. And I'm a big fan of Noshir Dalal, and so to see him be able to do like a major character again in Star Wars, because he's also Admiral Rampart in the Bad Batch, and he's played a few other characters, which is pretty cool. He's just such a good dude. So I'm excited to see Bodhi in the new Jedi Survivor, and like, you know, what's gonna happen, because the ending of the first game was nuts. So I'm excited for it.
Have you read the new novel, the tie-in book?
I have not. I haven't read any novels for a while. I have been so busy.
I sort of try to read them. I read a couple, but I'm like behind by about 10, I think. But
yeah, it checks out.
But I have started reading the tie-in book, Jedi Battle Scars for Jedi Survivor. It's good so far, so I'm enjoying it.
Nice, good.
I'm enjoying it quite a lot. Is there obviously, speaking of Star Wars Celebration, you know, we probably are going to get a movie announcement, at least one. If there is a movie announcement, sort of, what do you want it to be and why, and what are you looking forward to hopefully getting from a movie?
Good question. What do I want? Because I don't spend a lot of time thinking about future stuff, because I've found that to lead to disappointment more often than not.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
You know? I will say that if I could have anything, I would want Rian Johnson's trilogy. Because I really liked Episode 8. I did. It was my favorite of the new trilogy. And I like Rian Johnson as a dude, and I would like to see him make more Star Wars. So I would want him to do his thing again, and like a fully original story with new characters, and just see what happens.
Yeah, I love The Last Jedi. It's one of my favorite movies, not just Star Wars movies. Good. Obviously, Ryan's doing very. I mean, I love all his movies, but with obviously the was it called The Glass Onion? The latest one.
Yes. Yep. Glass Onion. So good.
So, you know, with sort of that franchise taking off, you know, I think the second time in a row he's been nominated for an Academy Award for a screenplay. You know, and Netflix want to keep making those, so I hope he does get the time to develop and produce his movies, but only time will tell, I suppose, but I would really like that, definitely.
Yep.
Obviously, it's not just Star Wars announcements. They're calling it the Lucasfilm panel, I think, which is going to be on the Friday morning. Will we see Harrison Ford there, do you think?
I think so. Why not? Indy 5's coming. It's why not? I see no reason for him not to be. What else is he doing?
Well, I think you'll be there. I think we'll get a new indie trailer. That's
yeah, that'd be cool. I know
be,
Savannah's really looking forward to it.
be very cool. Going to start getting a bit naughty now, Brian. So I'm going to offer
All right.
I'm going to
Here
offer
we
you
go.
some quick fire choices. All right.
Quick fire choices. Okay, let me put
you
my
have to pick
helmet on.
one of the. I'm going to give you a couple of things. You have to pick one of them.
Okay, here we go.
So there's going to be a world, Brian, where you can either have Star Wars celebrations or Star Wars weekends, but obviously you only have one of them, so the other one no longer exists. Which are you choosing to remain?
I am choosing Star Wars Celebration only because I have only ever been to Star Wars weekends once, and it just so happened to be the very last one. So I was in the parade because I was with the Rebel Legion at the time. So the one Star Wars weekend I've ever been to was the last one, and I was a part of it. So I don't have any memories of being a kid and enjoying it, and I don't have any experience with it as an attendee because I was a part of it. So I for sure have those experiences with Celebration. So Celebration.
Good choice.
Thank you.
The next one is, from now on, you can either only watch Star Wars that's already been made, and you can't watch any new Star Wars for the rest of your life, or you can only watch new Star Wars, and you cannot rewatch anything that's already been made.
Ooh, option 1 for sure. Because Episode 3 is my favorite movie of all time, and Episode 1 gave me Qui-Gon, and I think Episodes 1 through 6 are absolutely incredible. I think Kenobi was perfect. I'm loving Mando, and I don't know what the future holds, and it could be less good. So I'm going with no more new Star Wars, which might be a little spicy take.
What if there's going to be a Qui-Gon Jinn show, though?
Oh, see, I don't know that, though. It's like, do I want to risk what I have for the possibility? Because what if I pick, I want to get rid of all the old stuff, and then I never get a Qui-Gon? Huh?
It's hard.
I'm saying high risk.
I told you it was naughty.
I know. That was good. I'm for the first time in my life, I'm going to take the safe bet.
Right. So here's one. You can have Liam Neeson sign your Star Wars poster.
Ooh, okay.
But you never ever get to go in the Halcyon Legacy Star Wars Galaxy's Edge Hotel. Or on the other hand, you never get to ever get a Liam Neeson autograph, but you get to go on the Halcyon Legacy once every year from now till you die.
Oh, Peter, you're right. These are naughty. Okay. Am I there to get Liam Neeson's autograph?
Yeah.
Oh, man. So either meet Liam Neeson and have him sign my poster and never ride the Star Cruiser, or ride the Star Cruiser every year. I'm meeting Liam Neeson. I'm doing it. You know why? Because meeting Liam Neeson sounds like a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Where the second one is by definition, not once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Yeah, I'm meeting Liam Neeson for sure.
What are your thoughts on the Halcyon Legacy? Are you going to try it out at some point?
Yeah, in 10 years when I can afford it. It sounds amazing, right?
It does.
I feel like I'm gonna. I feel like I have to. Experience it just once. As much as I love Galaxy's Edge, dude. So I hadn't been to Galaxy's Edge until last year on my wedding anniversary. And so Monique and I went, And we live 3.5 hours south of Orlando. So it's like, it's a bit of a drive. And so we used to say all the time that, like, when people who live in Naples, where we live, were annual pass holders, is like, come on, 3.5 hours. Like, that's 7 hours in the car to do something. It's like, how many people are going to Disney that much to warrant being an annual pass holder? We said this for years. And then we went to Galaxy's Edge once, came back, became annual pass holders. And we've been going on average once a month since. So, like, as much as I adore Galaxy's Edge, I love it so much. I get it, because I like Disney, but I'm not like a massive Disney fan like some Disney adults out there. And more power to them. I am absolutely a Batuu adult because I feel at home there. I just love it. I like to just sit there and enjoy the environment. So knowing how much I enjoy Batuu, Galaxy's Edge, I can only imagine what I'm gonna feel on the Star Cruiser. So yeah, I'm for sure gonna do it one day. As to when, no clue.
So I've now, obviously, living in the UK, haven't been to a Disney park in the States in a while, not since Celebration Orlando. Just what is Batuu like? Just sell Galaxy's Edge to the listeners who haven't been yet.
I'll tell you. Are you ready?
Let's go.
So it's not. I understand. I'm going to sound a little crazy for anyone listening. It's not a theme park. It doesn't feel like a theme park. The level of immersion that they achieved with Galaxy's Edge, you have to walk through this tunnel to get to it. And once you're in there, there's no view of the outside theme park from Galaxy's Edge. So you can't see like the top of a roller coaster or like, the Tower of Terror off in the distance. You see nothing except for Batuu. You feel like you're on another planet. All of the merchandise, none of it says Star Wars on it because you're on Batuu. So all the drinks are, fun named. You have the different kinds of milk. You got the story of the places. When you go to the toy shop, there are toys there that are like wooden marionettes and like dice and Dejaric tables and stuff like that. But there's a story behind everything. So like you go to the toy shop is run by a toydarian, and you can see her in the window working on making new toys as you're shopping. And it's like this, just like nothing I've ever experienced before. Because like when you go to a theme park, you're in a theme park, right? When you go to Disney, you see Mickey everywhere. You see Disney World written on everything. Like it's a constant reminder that you are in a theme park. When you are on Batuu, I don't even say in when I say on, because you're on a different planet. The level of immersion everywhere you look, there's no, if you allow yourself the suspension of disbelief, there's no reminder that you're in a theme park because you feel like you're on another planet. And it's so cool. There's starship, there's like an X-Wing and an A-Wing and Kylo Ren's shuttle just there, just parked. And then if you get the app, you can like interact with things, and there's droids, and you can scan crates with the QR code, or like, well, it's like a Star Wars version of a QR code. And then it tells you what's in the crate, and it's so cool, dude. I absolutely love it.
Do you prefer green milk or blue milk?
I like green. I like them both. They're both good. But I'm team green milk. My wife is team blue milk, and it is good. The blue is more like creamy. It's more like milky, whereas the green has more of like a citrusy kind of tone to it.
And what type of characters can you meet in Galaxy's Edge? I've heard the Mandalorian's there now. Is that correct?
I have heard that. I haven't seen him. I think that's a new thing. If you ride Smuggler's Run, they have an animatronic of Hondo, which is really cool. I personally have seen Vi Moradi. I've seen Stormtroopers. I've seen Kylo Ren. I've seen some Imperial officers. I've seen Rey and Chewie. And that's all that I've personally seen.
And is it true you can interact with Vi Moradi?
Oh, yeah. It's really cool. Because that's the other thing is, like I said, it's immersive, right? So, like, when you see Vi, she's not like the Disney characters in the parks who, like, meet you at a certain time and then you line up and take pictures with them. That's not how it is on Batuu. Vi is alive and she's doing stuff, and she's usually sneaking around looking for any Imperial officer or stormtrooper so she doesn't get caught. And, like, she'll stop and take pictures with you, and she's very kind, and all the characters are beautiful and kind and just the best of the best. But they're clearly doing something. You know, they're on a mission. Rey and Chewie are headed to the Falcon to go do something. Like, it's really cool. You're seeing them alive in front of you, as opposed to like, oh, here comes a character to take pictures at this time, you know?
If you could add anything to Galaxy's Edge, what would you add?
Ooh. I've never thought about this. Great question. I honestly don't know. Because I feel like it has everything that I would want. And like, Doc Ondar's is probably my favorite place. There's this Ithorian called Doc Ondar, and he has his own like antique shop where you can buy lightsaber crystals and holocrons and cloaks and all kinds of really cool stuff. And sometimes he's in the shop, and you'll see him, and he's like doing stuff while you're shopping, and that's really, really cool. But what's really neat is the merchandise is always updating. So like, when you go to Doc Ondar's, he has X amount of selection, and I'm sure there's items that are always there. But come back in a few months, and he'll probably have new stuff because he got new shipments from another planet. You know, it's like, there's that. So I can't even be like, oh, I wish they had new merchandise, because they do get new merchandise. And I think the rides are just great. I mean, Rise of the Resistance is the greatest theme park ride ever invented, and I do not say that as hyperbole. Smuggler's Run is just so fun. I haven't done the lightsaber building yet, but it looks amazing. Yeah, I got nothing. I can't think of a single thing to add to it. I just think it's great.
For me, I think, I mean, I've not been, but
Sure.
I think what excites me the most about the park is that it could change like as the year goes on. Like,
Oh, yeah.
different decorations, different events happening in Batu, and then
Totally.
and then what will happen is, especially if you're annual pass holder, you know, you'll probably experience it all. There'll be a certain weekend where it's like your favorite event will be on there.
Right?
So you might go to that one especially. Like, do you know what I mean? I feel it could be very customizable where, do you know what I mean? You can jump in the timeline, like, and stuff. So,
Oh, yeah. Oh, here's something I would do. I just thought of one. So they have this bounty hunting thing that you can do that's really cool if you have a Magic Band Plus and your app. And, like, you actually, like, use your camera on your phone to, like, hunt down these bounties, and you go back and you get credits for them. I think it would be really cool if you could turn in the credits that you earn for something. Or, like, use the points that you make. Because when you ride Smuggler's Run as well, you get paid at the end if you connect it with your app. And so I think it'd be neat if you got, like, 100,000 credits, like something insane, and you get, like, 10% off an item. I would like that. I would like the credits to be worth something on Planet. I think that'd be neat.
yeah, that would be really cool. And
Yeah.
it sort of goes back to sort of Walt and the Disney dollar type of thing.
Yeah, right?
So it's sort of full circle. Totally makes sense.
Yep.
Obviously, speaking of vehicles, obviously you mentioned sort of X-Wings and all the lovely vehicles that are on display at Galaxy's Edge. You have to choose one of these vehicles, and the one you choose, you get
Ooh.
a real-life working version of, but the other ones, you'll never, ever even get to have a toy of ever again, okay?
Sure.
So we're going to start with the Bongo.
Okay.
Also, the Mandalorian's N1 Starfighter.
Oh, dude, N1.
And also
No contest.
Obi-Wan's Jedi Starfighter from Revenge of the Sith.
I do like the Jedi Starfighter, but going with the N1. The N1 is my favorite Starfighter in all of Star Wars. I love the look of it. I've loved it since 1999 when Episode 1 came out. And somehow the Mando team made it even cooler. I remember when the I think it was Princess Leia comic book came out, and they had flashbacks of Padme training in an N1, and it was silver. And I was like, what? They come in silver? That's so cool. Flash forward 5 years, and Mando has a souped up muscle car version of a silver N1. It's so cool. Yeah, and N1's winning that one.
Very good choice.
Yeah.
How, if you were going to do a Star Wars marathon, what would your starting point be, and sort of what order would you watch them in?
Oh, episodic.
Starting at 1.
starting at 1 and going all the way down. I like that better. I've watched, I mean, this was years ago before the sequels came out. I watched 1 through 6 in a day. I woke up early and then just kept doing it, and it was fantastic. Like there is an argument to be made of watching them in release order because that's how all of us watch them, and we love them. So I don't think there's anything wrong with watching 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9. But there's something about the chronological order that I believe was the way George intended it to be watched. And, he being the artist whose brain this came from, I like that. Because I'm like, give me your thing the way that I'm meant to consume it, So I'm a chronological guy.
Very good choice. Very good choice.
Yeah.
When it comes to Star Wars TV shows, especially the animated shows that came first, obviously Clone Wars is over 100 episodes. When it comes to rewatching that, do you sort of just go back and watch your favorite arcs, or do you start at the beginning and work your way forward?
I have not rewatched Clone Wars. I find that just me as a person, I don't rewatch a lot of stuff because there's so many things to watch that I find myself behind on watching other things. So instead of rewatching something I've already seen, I'll watch something new. That's just how I am. So if I do rewatch something, it's intentional and I'm deciding I want to rewatch this. But when I have rewatched Clone Wars, it's always been a specific arc or a specific episode.
Yeah, for me, I always go back and watch Twilight of the Apprentice, the Rebel season 2.
Oh yeah, incredible.
Just because it's top tier Star Wars storytelling.
I agree.
But I've now gone back and sort of started at season 1 and working my way through. There's too much life in the way to do that, sadly.
Exactly. And new stuff is coming out all the time. And there's would you watch Clone Wars? Would you watch Mando? Would you watch Rebels? Because I liked Rebels better than Clone Wars, and I really like Clone Wars. But I think Jedi Knight is my favorite episode in Star Wars animation, across the board.
You just love tragedy, don't you?
I do. I really do. And I love Jedi, and I love seeing, this is what they do. This is the point of a Jedi. There's hours and hours of me online talking about Jedi. And, the idea, Qui-Gon talked about how, becoming a Jedi is not an easy challenge. And even if you succeed, it's a hard life. And I feel like most people don't really grasp that. It's really cool to be able to use the Force and have these cool abilities and swing a lightsaber. That's great, but that's not what a Jedi is. And the purpose of a Jedi is to stand between evil or the darkness and good people. And to see that personified, I just think is heartbreaking and beautiful, and just that Kanan was exactly where he was supposed to be as a Jedi, and I just think I think it's so special.
Yeah, it's that selfless act, isn't it?
It is. That's the whole thing, right? Is Jedi are supposed. Anakin even says it in Episode 3 when he's talking to Palpatine. The Jedi are selfless. They use their powers to help people. Unfortunately, the Jedi ended up, getting in their own way and getting into too dogmatic, and that's why Qui-Gon is purely belter, if it were. So I just, to see a true Jedi live up to what it means to be a Jedi just really resonated with me. And I think Kanan is amazing. I just love him. And I think that episode is very powerful. And the music and my God. I've talked to Vanessa Marshall about this. That whole scene, Kanan never says a word. It's all in the music and her scream. So Hera screaming Kanan and music is all you get, that whole sequence. It's man, to evoke that level of emotion and power is just art at its finest.
Speaking of Hera, are you excited to hopefully see live action version of Hera in the Ahsoka TV series?
Oh, yes. I hope it's Vanessa. I think that'd be awesome. I don't think it will be, but I think it'd be really cool if it was.
It's weird because they haven't announced who it is, so I think because they haven't announced who it is, it might be her.
Yeah, maybe.
Because they've announced Sabine, haven't they? Who's playing Sabine? Obviously, it's not
that's true.
Not the original voice actress.
Right.
But time will tell. What's your thoughts on Ahsoka show? Do you think it's going to start sort of with the end of Rebels, with Ahsoka landing, saying we need to go and get him.
Maybe, but also we saw Ahsoka in Mando, right? So I assume it's going to be after that. But I could be wrong. I don't know, because that's the other thing is like she's looking for Thrawn when she fought the Magistrate, right? And from what we can assume, Ahsoka is still looking for Thrawn. So the series is going to be Ahsoka looking for Thrawn. So I don't know where in the timeline exactly they're going to pick up.
Do you think she's looking for Thrawn because she's looking for Ezra?
I think she's looking for Thrawn for a bigger reason. I don't know what that reason is, but Ahsoka in the live action seems to be way more in tune with the will of the Force as opposed to personal reasons. You know, she strikes me as like, oh yeah, no, this is what's going to happen. Here we are, very, very sure and very open. You know, as opposed to like, I need to find Ezra. You know, because to find Ezra would be a personal venture, and I think she's doing something much bigger. I just don't know what it is.
We will find out soon. I mean,
We'll find out. Time will tell.
We should get a sneak peek at the Ahsoka panel, hopefully, and then obviously the series will be here before the end of the year. I think, is that correct?
I think so.
So
Yeah, I'm very interested. Also to see like, you know, Ahsoka is quite literally Dave Filoni's baby. And the fact that this is his show with his character and his understanding of Star Wars being a direct protege of George Lucas, I feel like there's going to be some really, really cool Star Wars coming out of the show. And like I said, Jedi, I'm down with it.
definitely. Is that sort of one last thing? We'll start to wrap it up a little bit.
Sure.
Obviously, you know, talk about sort of exclusive merchandise, Celebration Store. We don't know what they're going to have. Is there any sort of bits you're going to be looking at from the normal wheeler dealers, collectors who are going to be selling there? Is there a certain old figure you want, or old T-shirt, or is there anything after like you really want in your collection that's already been released, like you're hunting?
Not really. I mean, I'm always on the look for Qui-Gon stuff, just because it's my jam, and I'm quite literally right now surrounded by Qui-Gon merchandise. It's everywhere. So I'd like to see some cool Qui-Gon stuff. Honestly, maybe some art. If there's gonna be some really cool art there, I gotta. Not that I don't even have space for it, but I like supporting artists a lot. And now that Kenobi has come out, I'm very interested to see what sort of Kenobi-inspired stuff there might be. So I'm looking forward to that. See what kind of Kenobi goodness we get.
I think I was talking to Savannah about this last week about art. Obviously,
Yeah.
you know, I mentioned to you off air that I'm busy renovating my house at the minute. And you know, we're getting close to being finished, which is good. We should be moved in by the end of April, fingers crossed.
Nice.
So I might have to come back with a couple of art items to hang on the wall.
There you go.
But as to what kind of art, I don't know.
Follow your heart.
I like the Jedi, so maybe something related to that. I don't know.
There you go. You'll know it when you see it. I find that that's kind of the thing with art is it's supposed to move you. So like you'll find a piece and be like, I need this in my life, and then you'll just grab it.
Yeah, I quite like subtle stuff. So like for me, you know, like do you know the mosaic?
Yes,
in
totally.
The Last Jedi. Like a lovely art print of that, like not a picture, but like an artist's impression of it, like a lovely.
That'd be cool.
I
have the ancient Jedi texts when Luke opens up the book and there's the Jedi symbol there. I have that exact one tattooed on my arm.
Ooh, well, speaking of tattoos, are you getting a tattoo with Star Wars Celebration London?
I don't think so. My tattoos are the way I kind of have my life in tattoos on my body. And so like when a big thing happens or something is really significant to me, I'll get it tattooed. So like I don't even know what my tattoos are going to be until they happen. And so like that one specifically, I chose that specific Jedi symbol. It's like yellow in the middle and then blue for the wings. And then underneath it in Arabic, I have the word focus. And so the reason being, obviously, Qui-Gon changed my life as a kid. Focus comes from your focus determines your reality, which is a quote that I live by. And I chose that Jedi symbol because it was the original one from the ancient Jedi texts. And in my opinion, Qui-Gon, by the time the prequels rolled around, was one of, if not the only Jedi still holding true to what the Jedi were supposed to be, which is understanding and love and care and protection, as opposed to, hubris and dogma and rules and, just tradition for the sake of tradition. So I chose that one to be like, remember what the Jedi are supposed to be. And, I'm trying to be a Jedi in real life. So it seemed like the right thing to do as far as tattoos go.
I'm thinking about getting one at Star Wars Celebration London.
Dude, you should. What would you get?
Did you get yours at Celebration Chicago?
No, I actually have never gotten a tattoo at Celebration. I have friends who have. If I remember Kristen Bates, she got one at the last one, I think. And she's gotten several since then. Yeah, maybe Tori also got one at Celebration. I could be wrong.
I was wondering what the experience was like of getting it at a convention.
I imagine because it's been around for so long with Star Wars. I mean, it would not only be a really, really cool Star Wars tattoo, it'd be a Star Wars Celebration tattoo, which would make the convention that much more meaningful. I think it's a great idea. If I had an idea and a placement for it, I'd totally get one.
So I'm thinking about that. So
yeah, you should. Do you have any tattoos?
So no, it will be my first one. So
nice. That'd be a good one. Do you know what you'd get?
So I would want something symbol. So whether we go for like the Rebel Alliance symbol or again a symbol of the Jedi, maybe.
Cool.
Like I said, I love the way Arabesh looks, so I would definitely want something where in an important message in Arabesh. So one thought I did have is that I think it's Luke's line in The Rise of Skywalker where he says the destiny of a Jedi is confronting fear.
Ooh.
So maybe something along those lines. I don't know.
There you go. I'm down with it.
But we will see. I might have to reach out to some of those people you mentioned and find out what the experience was like getting it done at a convention.
Sure. I'm sure it's super fun. It's got to be.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
How many beers are me and you going to have at Celebration over the 4 days?
Too many, Peter. Too many.
At least 36.
Yeah, exactly.
Sounds good.
Oh, it's going to be fantastic. I'm so excited. And I got a pregame for a week beforehand. I'm going to be ready.
Definitely. And so obviously we're talking about tattoos there. So what other tattoos have you got and sort of what meanings do they have to you?
Oh man, let me count. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 5 tattoos. I have the Jedi symbol on my upper left arm with focus written in Arabesh underneath it. I have a White Lotus tile with 2 katanas crossed behind it. The White Lotus tile is from Avatar: The Last Airbender, and the 2 swords behind it are Jin's from Samurai Champloo. I got that because Iroh was such a pivotal character in who I am today, seeing him like process grief the way that he does and continue to love on people. I just really resonated with that. Jin's swords from Samurai Champloo. Jin has always, to me, represented dedication and never giving up, which clearly is something I also have. Along the grief line, my mentor passed away 5 years ago, and he was called Bishop, and so I have a Bishop chess piece tattooed on the back of my arm in memory of him. And then I have a yin and yang on blue fire on my left forearm. And then I have the word beast tattooed on my chest, which I got, not to bring it too down. I had my best friend OD'd when he was 15. And so him, a buddy and I got it tattooed in memory of him. So now that I'm kind of talking about it out loud, it's like my tattoos are me and also a tribute to those who contributed to who I am today. Yeah, it's an interesting realization to have. Huh.
Very, very powerful stuff.
Yeah, that's what I like that. I like all my tattoos. And, more power to people who get them just to get them. I think that's great too. But for me, I like my story to be in my tattoos. And I'm only ever going to get them. Oh, take that back. I also got a new one a few weeks ago. I got Kubo's paw print on my ankle.
Very awesome.
Yeah.
How's
I have a
Kubo
pug.
doing?
I have a pug named Kubo, and he's the most handsome boy in the world, and I adore him. So my wife and I got an ink print impression of his paw, and I went to a tattoo artist, and I got his paw on my ankle. So yeah, it's my son, so I always got him with me.
And how is Kubo? Is he doing well?
Oh, he's great. So handsome and just the love of my life.
Is he eating well?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. A little too well sometimes.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Obviously, we've spoke about some designs there. Are you bringing any interesting podcast swag to hand out to any listeners at Celebration?
I thought about that. I'm pretty sure I'll have some stickers because I don't really have a lot of interesting podcast merch. I really should get some, but I don't know if anyone listens to the shows. So it's like, who? I just have a bag full of just merch that nobody wants. But I'm fairly certain I'll have some buttons. I'll have like 10 buttons maybe, and then I'll have some interesting podcast stickers. I'm pretty sure. So if you find me and say something like, just say like, hey, you have interesting podcast stickers? And I'll be like, yeah, I think so.
Well, I'll definitely be trading you. We're going to have some Star Wars bookmarks and some Star Wars
Sweet.
stickers. So I'll be
Oh,
trading you for
that's a
some
good
of
idea.
your interesting podcast ones.
Done. Bookmarks. That's a really good idea.
And obviously,
See how
you
bad
don't.
I am at this podcasting stuff, Peter?
I was going to say, you're also part of another podcast, and is there going to be any Dorky Diva Show swag?
I don't think so. I don't think Savannah's bringing any. I'll also have maybe like 10 stickers, a very limited amount. So if you find me, say something. I think I have some Dorky Diva Show stickers left over, and I for sure have about 10 Gray Jedi are garbage stickers left over.
Well, I need a new one of them, so I'll get that off you.
Perfect.
Let's talk. Let's end on that. So,
All right.
obviously, Grey Jedi are garbage. I agree
They
with
are.
you, but I'll let you explain that one.
Yeah, Gray Jedi are garbage, guys. It makes no sense. The going. Wow, look at me referring to Qui-Gon a million times in this episode, as always. The idea of a Gray Jedi, I understand, is a cool idea to be able to be a hero and a Jedi at the same time, but also use Force lightning. I get it, but that's not what a Jedi is. By definition, a Jedi is sacrifice, and it is a strict, difficult life. So you cannot be a gray Jedi. It's like being a vegetarian who also eats bacon. It's just not how it works. You have to earn the title of Jedi. So much so that Ahsoka herself says, I am no Jedi, because she understands what that means to be a Jedi. So a gray Jedi don't make no sense. So it's garbage. And we feel very strongly about this in at the Dorky Diva Show. There's a rant of me doing it somewhere from years ago, I'm sure.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, I definitely agree with that sentiment. And obviously, I've still got my sticker from last time, although it's very warm now.
I carry one in my wallet.
So I will need a new one.
Stay ready.
Definitely. Obviously, anybody who bumps into me at Star Wars Celebration, obviously, I said I'll have Star Wars bookmarks and Star Wars stickers to hand out. So just say hello, and we'll dish those out to you guys. Obviously, I'll keep some for you, Brian, to trade you.
Please do.
Obviously, one last question for you. I know you probably need to be a little bit tight-lipped on it, but
Okay.
if we're talking sequels to audio dramas,
Uh-huh.
are we going to get a part 2 of The Adventures of the Zolan Dart?
Absolutely. I've been working on it for a very long time. It is, if I do say so myself, quite good. I'll turn it on you a little bit. What were your favorite parts of the first one?
I think what I loved about it the most was it was sort of characters that, sort of we don't know.
Uh-huh.
And we have no connection to at all.
Sure.
But then sort of, and again, I don't know why, maybe it just was written really well, but
Stop.
sort of being with them every step of that adventure, it was just like really cool to sort of be with this. It felt being part of something new, but also something that's old at the same time. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So yeah,
Great.
so I enjoyed sort of being new characters, a new situation, but also feeling that like these people were your friends and that you knew them or you knew this story before, even though you didn't.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Who's your favorite character?
Ooh,
I know, right? Now I'm asking you the hard questions.
I know, that's a tough one. I don't know. I think I enjoyed think the mechanic.
Ooh, yeah, Pie Show. Pie Show's
Pie
my
Show.
favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah, the little ortolan.
Yeah. Pie Show.
Yeah.
I really wanted the Pie Show T-shirt.
Right. I have it. I'm wearing it to Celebration one of the days.
So, yes, I need to get one of those at some point.
Yeah, they're great.
Is Pie Show back? Or can you not tell us?
She is not. That is not to say we'll never see her again. I will say that there's I know Savannah teased it a little bit. There may be some stuff released, some details in May. I will say that the sequel dives a little more into a certain character's past.
Ooh.
Yeah, we get a little backstory, as it were, and it's a different tone than the first one. There's new characters with old histories, and I hope people like it.
Well, for anybody who is unaware of what we're talking about, obviously Brian was a big part of the team that produced an audio drama sort of set in the Star Wars universe. It was The Adventures of the Zolan Dart, which followed the crew of the Zolan Dart ship on adventures. We'll play the trailer at the end of this episode so you can have a listen
Nice.
to the trailer. Once you listen to the trailer, Brian, where can people find the actual full audio drama?
That is a great question, Peter. On the Dorky Diva Show feed, for sure. If you go to the Dorky Diva Show, it's one of those. And I'm pretty sure if you go to the Dorky Diva Show presents.com.
That's the one.
Hey, I got it. Yes,
I was
you'll find
I was ready to pull you out if you struggled.
Whew, thank God. Glad you're here. Yes, if you go to those, and I'm pretty sure at that website there's character art and there's little backstories of the characters, and yeah, it's good. I'm really proud of it. We'd never done anything like that before, and so it was a huge learning curve, and the reception was very, very cool. So I'm excited for people to hear the sequel.
I think I just want to, talk about some really good stuff. Obviously, a big part of the audio drama part one was Christina.
Yes. Oh man, incredible.
Who was now part of the team over at Skywalker Sound.
I know,
making her dreams and our dreams come true. It seems like
Yeah.
so. Just I'm really proud of her. And she's doing such an awesome job.
Agreed.
But I think that pretty much sums up everything I want to talk about. Brian, is there anything you want to talk about?
I think you got everything out of me. I'm excited. I'm excited for Celebration. I'm excited for the Zolan Dart sequel. I'm excited for Christina, who's absolutely killing it. It's I will say Christina is coming back for the sequel. So
There you go.
That's pretty exciting.
Top talent involved.
Top talent involved, exactly.
Any awesome episodes of the Interesting Podcast coming up soon?
Yes, there's going to be 4 episodes there's going to be 3 for sure within the next 3 days. Dropping them like flies before I leave. Possibly 4.
Which guests are you going to have on?
That's for future us to know.
And are you going to drop an episode of the Dorky Diva Show before you come across?
No. We dropped one yesterday or the day before, and I think that's going to be the last one before Celebration. And then I'm sure we're going to do a wrap up after it's Celebration and talk about it.
Fantastic. I've got a bit of a cough there, so excuse me for that. Where can the people find you on social media, Brian?
Oh, yes. Anyone foolish enough to want to follow anything I'm doing, you can find me at Jedi Brian everywhere: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all that stuff. BrianBalance.com is where you can find a lot of my stuff. The Zolan Dart is there also as well. The YouTube video with the audio is on my website. So BrianBalance.com. If you're interested in Star Wars things, which if you've made it this far, I assume you are, I host a show called The Interesting Podcast, which is not a Star Wars podcast, but I've had a lot of Star Wars guests on. So Taylor Gray, Vanessa Marshall, Ahmed Best, Hal Hickel, Brian Sipe, Charmaine Chan. Tons and tons and tons. A lot of Creature performers. Derek Arnold, Tom Wilton, Details. They've all been on the show. So if you'd like to get to know the people behind the characters, creatures that you love, check out one of those. And I think you might enjoy it.
Fantastic. Definitely check out the Interesting Podcast. It is wonderful.
Thank you.
Brian has a fantastic way of interviewing people, and whether it's a Star Wars guest or not, you always get a really, really good interview. And there's quite a lot of awesome Star Wars people on there, including Ahmed Best, who's obviously, the talk of the town at the moment, and deservedly so. But thank you very much for tuning into this podcast. As I said, Star Wars will be at Star Wars Celebration. So if you see any of the team there, just ask, and we'll hand out some Star Wars stickers and some Star Wars bookmarks. But that's all from me. May the Force be with you all. And remember, always tell that to Kanja Club.
Hello, Star Wars listeners. This is Savannah Odit. You might know me as host of the Dorky Diva Show with my co-host Brian Balance. I am also producer of The Adventures of the Zolan Dart, which is a Star Wars-inspired audio drama that we produced over the last year. If you love stories about smugglers, courage, heroic characters, and maybe a few foes along the way, you should go to thedorkydivashow.com and listen to The Adventures of the Zolan Dart today.
Shout! We've got your pigs.
Were any of the critters harmed?
What did you do now?
I didn't do anything. I just freaked out for no reason.
It was nice doing business with you again. Maybe next time we could deliver something less temperamental.
Now, what you call temperamental, I call fun.
Hey, is there a place nearby where I can make some repairs?
3 clicks south of here, you'll find a small spaceport. They should have what you need, as long as it's nothing too big.
Dynamic class? My stars, you don't hear about many of those still being space-worthy.
It's been in my family for a while.
She's pretty great. Any chance you have a hover cart we can use to load up?
I'll check out the HoloNet to see if anything new has come up in the sector.
My name is Sereth Kol. I am the chief here on Kamai. My people and I have been experiencing food shortages as of late due to unforeseen natural occurrences. We are looking to hire someone.
I say we take this one. The pay is great, and it's the type of job we're familiar with.
Welcome. You must be Captain Otoa. I've already sent word to Pac 2 to expect you in the next cycle or so.
You told him we were coming before we even accepted the job. That's rather presumptuous, isn't it?
Perhaps, though once I received confirmation that you were interested and on your way here, I couldn't help but hope.
Fair enough. Well, we'll be back as soon as we can.
Well, that's not good.
Is that blaster fire I hear?
So you're the one.
Captain, it sounds like they want to do this the hard way.
I love when they got some fight in them.
This is bad. This is bad.
We're about to have a lot of company.
I'll see you soon.